Many of you are attending, is this the first session or you have attended the previous orientation session? Most of you are attending for the first time. Okay. So yeah, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Vivekananda and I've cleared UPSC Civil Service Examination in the year 2014-15. And initially I worked as a assistant director in Indian Air Force Headquarters, Vayu Bhavan. Later I moved to Hyderabad and later I worked as a deputy director and I've taken resignation. Right now I'm completely into coaching. And over the last 5 years, I can say I have produced the highest number of ranks in Hyderabad with anthropology optional subject. And yeah, I'll share those testimonials also with you. And yeah, not less than 44 ranks from my anthropology mains test series and my mentorship programs. I can say that is the highest number of ranks, and also last year is the highest number of ranks in anthropology. We just don't put fake ranks. We put only original ranks for the students who have actually helped, right? So on that lines, and also I'm into teaching of anthropology over the last 7.5, 8 years. I'm into teaching of anthropology, and today's session, what I'll be primarily focusing is so what exactly is this anthropology? Then students would have some concerns like how much time it would take for completion of anthropology. Then some students also have this kind of concern, is anthropology for biology students. And I'll also tell what's the nature of our course, which means how our anthropology program would proceed. Okay, it will not take so much of your time. I'll finish off this in just 1 hour because orientation sessions should not be lengthy to the extent that they have to create a confusion in you. First things first, what is anthropology? Guys, keep taking down some notes so even this 1 hour would be spent in a productive way. Okay, whatever I am writing on board, quickly take some notes. Okay, to start with, anthropology is the study of humans. Study of humans. Anthropos actually means humans. Logos actually meant a study. So anthropology is one such subject which studies humans. Now, some of you might be thinking, isn't this too vague? What exactly of humans anthropology does study? Yeah, in fact, that is one of the fundamental premise or one of the fundamental principle of anthropology. Anthropology is a subject known for holism. Holism. Holism means something which believes in a holistic study. Holism or holistic is an English word, which means it has a tendency to study anything in totality. In totality. Let me make it a little more clear for you with an example. Let's say you are a young district collector, or let's say trainee collector. You are assistant collector under trainee, and let's say you are sent to a particular village. You understood that in this village, even in the present times, there is high incidence of female feticide, and you are asked by your senior to submit a report after 1 month why still there is female feticide in this particular village. Now, I have said holism, study in totality, a kind of holistic study is what anthropology does. Let's say if you send an economist, he would be just interested in understanding what economic factors would have been contributed or would have been played a role in high female feticide in this particular village. Sometimes, because of economic factors, wherein people might think it is difficult to rear a female child or to upbring a female child is expensive, they may think let's not go with a female child. That could be one reason. Then, sometimes there could be political factors also. You may be thinking, what kind of political factors? Female feticide, right? Killing of the fetus, female fetus. When the fetus is inside the mother's womb, killing the fetus. If it is a female, that is nothing but female feticide. Female feticide. It could also be some political factors, right? What kind of political factors? The political factors probably could be, maybe this village is traditionally male dominant, and there is this general tendency of aversion to females. So probably that could be one of the factors, or it could be sometimes, cultural factors. Cultural factors. Some cultures, they have this tendency to look down upon women. So, this way, the point I am trying to say, if you send an economist, he'll study one thing. If you send a political scientist, he'll study some other thing. If you send a social scientist, he'll just try to study some social institutions like, marriage, family, likewise. But anthropologists, what they try to do is, they try to get information from all these sources, and accordingly try to arrive at, conclusions. Means anthropologists' way of looking at a particular problem, is not in bits and pieces. Anthropologists' way of looking at a particular problem is a very holistic way, in totality. They try to take into consideration multiple aspects in a holistic way, in a totality, and then try to arrive at a decision. Such a decisions are undeniably more qualitative. How such decisions would be? Qualitative, and they also would be specific. Okay, so that's the beauty of this subject called as anthropology, which is known for its holistic study, and that is why it is called as the study of humans. Let's go a little further. Let's try to understand various components within anthropology. Within anthropology, we have following components. Observe this very carefully as I'm writing on the board. Okay, one component is physical anthropology, then you have socio-cultural anthropology, then you have archaeological anthropology, then you have linguistic anthropology, physical anthropology, sociocultural anthropology, archaeological anthropology, linguistic anthropology. These are the broad areas or broad components of anthropology. Broad components. Okay. Within this so-called physical anthropology, you again have biological anthropology and evolutionary anthropology. Okay, observe carefully what are various components: physical anthropology, socio-cultural anthropology, archaeological anthropology, linguistic anthropology. These are various components within anthropology. Now let's go one by one. We cannot go into complete depth of each of it, but let's give a overall picture. I'll start with this socio-cultural anthropology. What exactly is this socio-cultural? This is one of the easiest components of anthropology because we all live in this. So this is one of the most exciting and interesting components within anthropology. It doesn't mean that others are not interesting. This is much easier to understand and much easier to master. Socio-cultural anthropology is interested in understanding origins and also diversity of social institutions. Origins and diversity of social institutions. Origins and diversity of social institutions. I'm sure the term social institutions must be new for most of you, but social institutions is so familiar, you all know them already. Only thing, you are not aware of this term called as social institution. What are social institutions? I'm not getting into definition of it. Marriage, family, kinship. Kinship is nothing but relatives. Religion. Economic organization. Observe carefully what I am writing. Economic organization. Political organization. All these are nothing but examples of social institutions. Examples of social institutions. Marriage is an example, family is an example, kinship or relatives are an example, religion is an example, economic organization is an example. Economic organization means nothing but our economy. Economy around us is an example of economic organization. Political organization means we all have politics in our society, politicians, all these things. So these, according to anthropologists, are our social institutions. Means they are the institutions in the society, and these are the ones which run the society. Ones like marriage, family, kinship, religion, economic organization, political organizations. In most of the societies you find them. You go to any part of the world, you have this social institutions. Now, what is anthropology interested in? Anthropology is interested in understanding the origins and the diversity. Diversity is nothing but, it's a simple English word. Variety. Diversity is nothing but variety. Variety of social institutions is also the variety of the social institutions. So let's go one level deeper and try to understand what exactly is this origin and diversity. First we will see origins. Anthropology gives a simple understanding, or anthropology comes up with a simple understanding. Anthropology says that, or anthropology believes that most of the social institutions took their origin with the advent of surplus. Surplus is again a simple English word. Surplus means more than what we need. More than what we need. Anthropology believes somewhere, some 7,000 to 9,000 years before from now, okay, what happened is humans have learned something called as domestication. Domestication of what? Domestication of animals and domestication of plants. What am I trying to say? Humans somewhere 7,000 to 9,000 years ago learned something called as domestication. Domestication means before that, okay, let me tell you, domestication of plants is nothing but agriculture, and domestication of animals is nothing but livestock rearing. So what humans were doing before this 9,000 years ago? Yeah, to be more precise, humans were at that point hunters and gatherers. People used to just hunt and gather food. People used to hunt and gather food. So when people used to hunt and gather food, usually there is no surplus. No surplus. Why? Because is it easy to find food on a daily basis? Very difficult, right? It is like more or less living life like an animals. You wake up every day, you go for food, get your food, eat your food, your day is done. There is nothing much left in your time, in your energy, in your effort. Whole day, your whole existence is about hunting and gathering. This is more or less what even animals do. Animals also eat, sleep, and this is how we used to live for a very long time. Very long time. It is believed that modern humans have taken origin somewhere around 1,60,000 years ago. This number is not very precise, but for putting the context, I am saying you, modern Homo sapiens means us. We have appeared on the planet. We have a separate chapter called as evolutionary anthropology to convince you on all these things. But for perspective, we modern Homo sapiens came to this planet some 1,60,000 years ago. Up to 9,000 years ago, what were we doing largely? Hunting and gathering. Little bit of fishing also we did, but nothing great about fishing. Fishing also does not give much scope for surplus. There is very minimal surplus. Now what I am saying, some 7,000, 9,000 years ago, humans have learnt this art of domestication. Your curious mind will ask you why they developed domestication, or what made them to develop domestication at this point, why they could not do before that. We will talk about it in the regular class, but yes, domestication happened. So domestication means they started taking up agriculture and they started performing livestock, rearing of animals, rearing of plants. So what is the natural outcome? Natural outcome is surplus, means they started producing more. They started producing more than what we need. In hunting and gathering, you have minimal scope for surplus, whereas in livestock rearing and agriculture, you have the scope for production of surplus. So what happened with surplus? Only when surplus occurs, or only when surplus is there, people will start thinking about redistribution, isn't it? Only when you have more than what an individual needs, then the question comes of, okay, there is surplus, then don't you think you have to redistribute it? Means you have to give it to people. Then the next question that would come is, how much we should give, then who should oversee distribution, or who should frame rules of redistribution? Who should frame rules of redistribution? And who should perform redistribution? Who should perform redistribution? These are the questions that would arise. First of all, before there is no surplus at all. Now there is surplus. The questions started come up. Okay, we should frame some rules on to redistribution, and somebody who is trying to frame the rules should have authority to frame the rules. And after framing rules, someone has to oversee this redistribution. Oversee this redistribution or performance of this redistribution. If you carefully understand, this authority is nothing but a politician, or this is nothing but a political organization. And who is actually redistributing? It is nothing but a civil servant, isn't it? Even in the modern society, what does a politician do? Redistribution only, right? What does a politician do? Society has resources, different resources. And what does a politician do? They come up with some laws. What are the laws about? Redistribution of the resources in the society. Or if there are any conflicts in the process of this redistribution, how do we address these conflicts? What are the civil servants doing? Same. Helping politician in redistributing the resources. You got my point? So with the surplus only, something called as political organization started or taken its origin. With surplus only, something called as civil services or civil servants started. Got my point? Going one step further, with the surplus only, okay, only when there is surplus, the question comes, how much we should give? Means who should get more? Who should get more? Probably, somebody is having authority, so he should get more. Then somebody is a civil servant, he should get more. because he's the one who is redistributing, so he's taking effort on behalf of us, so let's give him more. He's a politician, so he should give given more, and not just given more, he should be given more respect, more authority. Like that it started. I'll come back to this again. Be patient for a while. Now, when surplus came in the society, along with the surplus, will you accept if I say leisure would have come in the society? Let's say you start your day and your whole day is about finding food. You start your day and your whole day is about finding food. Do you have any time left or do you have any leisure? No. When I have surplus, what do I have? I have some leisure. Isn't it? My food is taken care. Now I have some space in my mind to think. So when I have space in my mind to think, maybe somebody would have danced, somebody would have sang, somebody would have painted, somebody would have, written a poetic piece. So simply put, only with the surplus, what happened? Art forms proliferated. Art forms proliferated. Before that, where is time? Where is leisure? Your whole day is about like an animal starting, find food, eat food, take rest, conserve your energy, start your day. Here, you have some leisure, so people would have thought, okay, let's dance, let's sing, let's paint, let's do some poetic stuff, and this is how new set something which was never existing in the humanity called as art forms took its origin with the surplus. Now we have surplus, so we have to create more surplus. We have to create more surplus. People will have the tendency, right, to create more surplus. So probably to create more surplus, what happened? More surplus in this case means more agricultural produce, more livestock. So they would have thought about infrastructure, isn't it? Probably they would have tried to build some irrigation, some rudimentary, some basic level dams like that. That is one possibility. Now, also, they understood the importance of surplus. Simple, tell me, surplus can happen only when nature cooperates. Agree with me? What is nature cooperating? Nature cooperating means it should rain, okay? It should rain sufficiently. Nature cooperating means there should not be any hailstorms. Nature cooperating, there should not be any floods. Okay? Only when nature cooperates, I'll have surplus. Surplus is most important for me. Only when nature cooperates, I'll have surplus. But without, without my knowledge, rains are happening in a random way, droughts are occurring, hailstorms means, different climatological events like hailstorms, floods, and all are happening. But the human mind could not explain this natural phenomenon. At that point, our human mind does not know to account for. To account for means it could not explain what all this natural phenomenon, what exactly are this natural phenomenon. Then, as they could not explain this natural phenomenon, they started looking upward and started believing in supernatural. Belief in supernatural. They could not explain natural phenomenon, but human mind cannot settle if it is not able to explain the natural phenomenon. So it has settled its mind by saying that there is something beyond the nature, that beyond nature is supernatural. Supernatural is nothing but God. Supernatural is nothing but God. Okay. So if you observe carefully, one surplus contributed to redistribution, need for redistribution, and someone has to frame rules about redistribution. This led to origin of political organization, and someone has to oversee or perform the redistribution. That led to origin of bureaucracy or civil servants. Someone, and with the surplus we have a leisure. As there is leisure, people started doing, performing various art forms. So it led to origin of various art forms, and now there is a need to produce more surplus. So more surplus, you need to build infrastructure. For that also you need civil servants to oversee the infrastructure building. With that, there is development of infrastructure. Then what else happened with the surplus? We need more surplus, but we could not explain the reasons why sometimes nature is not cooperating to produce surplus. That led to origin of something called as religion. So this way, anthropology, sociocultural anthropology tries to explain origins of most of the social institutions and also help us in understanding the diversity of various social institutions. You got my point? So this is one of the fascinating and interesting subject. It has a lot more analytical depth that can be understood as we get into the regular classes. Okay. Then let me talk very briefly about linguistic anthropology, another branch you have just written. So linguistic anthropology is all about understanding the more or less origin of the language and diversity or variation of the language. Diversity or variation. Origin, diversity or variation of the language. So we all have this curiosity. When human language first start, okay, so let's keep that curiosity alive for now. We can discuss it in the regular class. And there are different theories surrounding when language might have taken its origin. One theory is very interesting. Do you know one of the reason why language would have developed is human tendency to lie, isn't it? We need a language only when you have to lie. Otherwise, isn't it? It's easy to tell sometimes if people are lying or not. When they tend to talk more than what is needed, we can tell that this guy is probably lying. So one of the theories believes that. There are several other theories also, but one interesting theory says human language might have taken its origin because of the inherent need of the human to make a lie. Only to lie, you need a language. To otherwise convey most of the expressions, to other way convey anything or to communicate anything, expressions would suffice. Okay, we'll talk more about other interesting theories. And also explains diversity or the variation of languages. There is a lot of diversity, lot of variation in the languages, isn't it? So this diversity or variation in different geographies, you have so much variety or diversity. Not just about geographies based on occupation, based on gender, based on culture. There is a significant diversity in the language. Significant diversity in the language. Language is not the same, right? Let's say Telangana has one dialect, Coastal Andhra has one dialect, Rayalaseema has one dialect, and the kind of language, let's say somebody who is a corporate white collar job compared to a blue collar job, language varies. Within gender also, language can vary, but it's not that we touch subject with this superficiality. We go a bit analytically deeper into it. Just let me give a couple of examples. Let's say we believe that based on the gender, language changes, but we will not just accept it like that. Why just based on the gender language changes? We will try to go one level deeper and we will try to understand. There are some theories. One theory is childhood play theory. Childhood play theory. So what is this childhood play theories? Simple. People understood in all cultures or in most of the cultures there is a difference in the nature of games, played by men and women. Nature of games played by men and women, there is a difference. There is a difference in nature of the games played. Nature of games played by men and women. So what kind of difference you find? Let's say men, if you see, most often men play outdoor games, whereas women generally play indoor games. And in men outdoor game, there is no proximity. Means as they are playing outdoor games, they are located far from each other. Whereas in case of females, as they play indoor games, there is an element of proximity. They stay very close to each other. And these plays are about lot of communication. Women tend to talk a lot because it's a proximity, right? And this builds an element of intimacy among them. Whereas in case of men, the kind of games they play, what is valued more is, they have to be assertive, right? They have to be assertive, and they have to command, and at times they have to display aggression. And who is valued more? Whoever is displaying this aggression, or whoever is able to articulate well and assert and command. You observe there is a difference in the nature of the games we play in the childhood. So this shapes the nature of communication between men and women. That is the reason men are generally assertive, more aggressive, have a tendency to command, because the kind of games they play shape the kind of language men use. Whereas in case of women, women are generally known to be good listeners, good at communication, and known to have more empathy. Why? That could possibly be shaped by the nature of the games which women or girls play in their childhood. It's about proximity, it's about intimacy, is what is the kind of games which girls play in their childhood, which is shaping the nature of their language when they grow up. Language or speech style when they grow up. Okay, so it's not that we just study superficially. We go one level deeper and we will try to analyze things as they are. Another simple example I'll give. same language also is used as a way of discrimination. Language is used as a way of discrimination or reinforcing discrimination. Reinforcing means how language silently or subtly supports discrimination or reinforces discrimination. You may be thinking, sir, how can language used as a tool to strengthen discrimination? Very simple, easy to convince you all. Let's say in our Telugu, what would we say for chair is broken? We would say chair virigindi. We would not say chair virigadu, isn't it? We would say it that way. Which means, what actually is chair? Chair is an object. So objects are given feminine gender. Objects are given feminine gender. So in a way, this culture is subtly promoting objectification of women. Objectification means women are treated more like an objects. Means women have less agency. Less agency means they are ones with their own volition, or they can think on their own and act. Agency means what? Ability to think on their own and act. So likewise, language also helps us in understanding the discrimination. Very simple. Let's say in your childhood you would have observed, what childhood even now you would have observed, if you want to hurt somebody, what are the terms people use? They take the names of the family, female family members, isn't it? So this way language is used as a tool to reinforce or support discrimination. So these kind of things we usually pick in linguistic anthropology. It's one of the fascinating subjects of anthropology. Then apart from sociocultural anthropology, linguistic anthropology, you also have evolutionary anthropology. Evolutionary anthropology, yes, not very unfamiliar to you. So evolutionary anthropology, it's all about understanding human evolution and evolution in general. Human evolution and evolution in general. Human evolution means, see, it is believed that we all have evolved. Simply put, you would have heard somewhere, or you would have seen one popular image of how we have evolved from monkeys. Some of you would have seen those images. In regular classes I'll be showing a lot of images. As this is an orientation session, I did not pick those images, but once you see that image you will feel familiar. And it is believed that we all have evolved from monkeys. So what we will try to do is, we will try to examine the evidences. Did we really evolve from monkeys? Then when did we evolve? Okay, what led to this? What led to this evolution? That's it. Evolutionary anthropology is a simple topic. It believes in humans have evolved and we are still evolving, And what did we evolve from? Probably we all have evolved from monkeys. What led to this evolution? Evolution is nothing but change. It's a simple English word, nothing anthropology about it. Change. So how this change manifested from monkeys to humans, and are we still evolving? Are we still evolving? Change is always happening, right? We are still evolving. Evolving means biologically, means our physical body is not the same, it's evolving. But recently what they did, they took some MRIs, or MRI is a type of imaging technique of the skulls of the Gen Z. You know what they observed? There is this spiny, bony growth, spines. You know the reason? Lot of usage of smartphone, and the tendency to, there is a substantial amount of time they are spending. So evolution favored this growth. Why this growth? Because it helps in muscular attachment, so it minimizes the pressure on your cervical spine, so you would not get your neck pain. Probably there is an artistic imagination. After probably 300 years, it is assumed we all will have a text claw. Our fingers would become like this, because people tend to do this a lot. So probably we might develop this. This is not bad or good. This is the change that will happen. It is believed that the size of the brain will decrease, so size of the skull will decrease. We aren't applying our minds as much we are supposed to, and we all would develop probably a hunchback. Have you observed most of the people nowadays who sit for longer hours without doing workouts, or without, they have this hunchback? This again is a newer phenomenon, because of the fact that people tend a great deal of time on screens. Otherwise there is a overgrowth here, hunchbacks, and a third eyelid might develop. You need not buy a Blu-ray filter glasses anymore. Nature will give you a inbuilt third eye filter. You got my point? So we are still evolving. This way we will try to learn how we have evolved from monkeys to the present phase. That is what is evolutionary anthropology is all about. Then again, you also have something called as biological anthropology. Nothing much biology here. The name sounds biology, but it's largely about biological anthropology in social context. It's not biological anthropology as such. How biological anthropology in social context? I'll give you a simple example. Intersex conditions. Intersex condition. Intersex, who are intersex? Intersex means, you must have heard, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer communities. This we call them as intersex conditions. Now in anthropology, what we will try to see, we will not consider them as people with some disease. Rather, we consider them as just individuals with a type of sexual diversity. It's just a sexual diversity. Just like we have a physical diversity, we all don't look the same. We don't look like Northeast Indians. We don't look like North Indians. We don't probably look like Kashmiris. Okay? So there is a diversity in our physical form. Anthropology considers even intersex conditions not as a disease, but as a form of sexual diversity. Just like that, let's say we all know how, because of the fact that somebody is a, let's say someone is a Hijra. Let's understand this very simple way. Hijras in India, are they given access to the social institution called as marriage? Often government itself does not recognize their marriages, right? Legally their marriages are not even recognized. Then do they have family? No, family abandons them. In most cases, what happens? Family abandons them. Where do they end up? They end up in brothel houses, or they end up settling in a common groups. They stay together. So family disowns them. Kinship. Yeah, does relatives and all own them? Nobody would like to be told that I have a Hijra who is my cousin or who is my whatever. So even their family disowns them. What about religion? Even religion in a way discriminates them. You see, most of the Hindu rituals or Hindu traditions, they expect a wife and husband to sit together and perform. Which means if you are born as a Hijra, then you are not entitled to any of these rituals. Means even for you to reach out to God, you need to be a straight gender. You should be either a male or a female. In a way, even God is discriminating them access to Him. Isn't it? Then, not to mention, are they in any way contributing actively to the economic organization? Do you find them everywhere? Their population, don't think it is insignificant. They are anywhere between 2 to 3% of the Indian population. That's not a small number for a country with population like 140 plus crores. But you seldom or you rarely find them in any of the economic activity. You don't see them in politics. Can you name one Hijra politician? Maybe one or two might be there, but we really don't know them. But they are also born like us. They are also humans, isn't it? But they are discriminated. They are not given access to marriage, not access to family, kinship, caste system. So, this way, anthropology builds empathy among us. There is That's a recent phenomenon. Whatever you are saying, admissions, reservations, all of them would have probably started in the last 4 years or 5 years, something like that. These are all very, very recent phenomena. But historically, I'm speaking over centuries. Forget over centuries. Even today, isn't it? Most often they end up at the traffic signals without lack of basic dignity. We make fun of them and we feel averse to them. Frankly saying, we all have an aversion, natural aversion to them because of certain activities or certain actions they perform. But once we come out of that aversion and think through their shoes, someone disowned by their own family members, observe the kind of psychological trauma they would have faced. Got my point? It is like that. So this is evolutionary anthropology, and this is biological anthropology, another fascinating aspect of anthropology. Then you have archaeological anthropology, again a beautiful subject that's even more interesting. Archaeological anthropology. Archaeological anthropology. The name itself is suggestive. Have you heard this term archaeology? What does an archaeologist do? Archaeologists study material remains of the past. Archaeologists study material remains of the past. Means past, what are the material remains available in the past? Those material remains available in the past would be studied by an archaeologist. What is the material remains? Everything around us is a material remain. Okay? Chair is a material, screen is a material, camera is a material, everything is material. But archaeologists are interested in studying the materials of the past. That should immediately make you understand, sir, why are we studying material remains of the past in archaeology? Very important. So material remains of the past will help us in understanding nature of the society Okay, nature of the society. How do we understand nature of the society? By studying the material remains of the past. I'll just give one example before I go to the next segment, that you will understand why we are reading archaeological anthropology. There is this popular adage which says, plow is the enemy of women. Plow is the enemy of women. Observe what you are right, what I've written here. Plow is the enemy of women. Read this 5 times. Plow is the enemy of women. So, what is this? Plow is the enemy of women. Let's say, plow, can I say, is a material remains? How can plow become the enemy of the women? Somewhere around 7,000 years ago or 5,000 years ago, our agriculture operations started. And in our agriculture operations, what we started to use? We started to use plows. Plows, you all must be aware, are heavy, right? Agree with me? Plows are heavy. And plows are heavy and it's difficult to use plows. Difficult. So, with the advent of plows, what happened? Women got a natural advantage. Sorry, men got a natural advantage because women cannot use the plow as effectively as men because of the physicality associated with it. It's difficult. So, now whoever can use, will you accept with me if I say one of the most important thing for economic activity is tools? Undeniably, right? One of the most important thing for economic activity is tool. When the tool itself is discriminating one gender, so what would happen to that gender? That gender would continue to be discriminated. That gender cannot contribute to economic activity. When that gender cannot contribute to economic activity, that gender would gradually lose its control. That gender would gradually lose its respect, gradually lose its self-esteem, and the gender calmly accepts the authority of the other gender, because this gender is not contributing to economic activity. So they lost respect, they would have lost their self-esteem, they lost control over the resources, then other gender taken authority over this gender. So this is how plow became the enemy of women. Plow became the enemy of women. Okay, don't think that this analysis should be just confined to the past. Let's come to the present society. In present society, what is the major tool? Can I say information technology and information technology enabled services, computers, internet? Are they discriminating women? No, anyone can use. So can I say present tools or the present technology, can they challenge the authority? Can they take away the control? Can they help women to regain their respect and self-esteem? Probably yes. So this way, everything you study in anthropology has the scope for contemporary application. There is no branch of anthropology which has disconnect with contemporary. Look, such a burning problem this is, right? Intersex conditions, problem faced by the transgenders. It's very contemporary, right? Including evolutionary anthropology. So everything in anthropology has this beautiful contemporary connect. Okay, including language. All parts of anthropology has this connect. Okay. So this is what I have to introduce to you guys briefly about various branches of anthropology. Various branches of anthropology. Yes, true. Now also love is one of the reasons. But now that is there for so long, it is accepted by the society. If you most of you guys must be beginners, but there is one trend, Indian social trend, that is feminization of agriculture. One of the recent trends is feminization of agriculture, which means more women are coming into farming. Why? Reason is not just they like it, because most of the men are moving out. Distress migration is happening because there is no adequate livelihood opportunities in the villages. Men are forced to move out of the villages into the nearby towns, and they end up working as industrial laborers or domestic laborers in the city. Women are left in the villages, but they can't allow their land to go fallow. So women are now taking up the baton, or women are now performing agriculture. That is why Government of India has launched one initiative wherein it wanted to remodel, redesign agricultural implements in such a way that they are women friendly, making them lighter, making them in such a way that they are lighter and they are more gender friendly equipment is one of the initiative taken by Government of India. Okay, yes. So let's address other aspects, other doubts which you might be having. How much time does it take for you to master anthropology? Yes, 4.5 to 5 months. Okay, usually we have classes on a regular basis from Monday to Friday. 2 to 2.5 hours of classes we will have. 2 to 2.5 hours of classes we will have. We would like to complete our syllabus probably in the Jan second week. We will try to finish off our syllabus. So 4.5 to 5 months is what we need to get a mastery over this particular subject. Then biology students is a pure myth. I'll tell my own ranks of my own students. 2021 batch, rank 28, Maurya Bharadwaj is from NIT Warangal. Same year, Oka Chaitanya Reddy, she's I think currently additional superintendent of police, Sanga Reddy. She got 160 rank and she also got good marks in anthropology. She is again NIT Warangal, non-biology student. Then same year there is another guy, I forgot his. Next year Utkarsh got 80th rank. He is also some ITN or some engineering grad. Then last year also Sai Chaitanya Jadhav got 62nd rank, 68th rank. He also does not have any biology background. Srujana last year got 55th rank. Sai Chaitanya Jadhav before 55th rank. Srujana, she also does not have any background. These are all my students I am saying. Prachet last year got 193, is my classroom student. He has no biology background. 178, Rachana, she is again my anthropology test series student. She has no biology background. And Benzo got 68th rank, something like that. Sorry, 58th rank or 60th rank. He also is from humanities background. Preeti got 263 rank. She also does not have any biology background. At least 95% of all the students who got cleared from me by writing my test series or by being part of my classroom students does not have any biology background. Okay, for that matter, the amount of biology you deal in your science and technology is way analytically deeper than the biology we have in anthropology. So even if you believe in that, so that's not correct. Okay, then nature of the course, like yes, every day 2 to 2.5 hours of course. I'll be giving you guys a printed material or a printed handout for each topic. I'm not a big fan of textbooks because textbooks tend to get outdated. Okay, thanks to internet, we have updated content being available on a regular basis. I never am a big fan of textbooks, even if some basic textbooks are given to you, but again I would be probably giving you guys printed handouts. Apart from that, I'll be writing everything on board. Okay, just like I did today. There is nothing in the class which I just talk without writing on the board. So whatever I write on the board will be in your class notes. It is more than dictation. In dictation, certain things get lost. But when I write on the board and when you copy it, you will have a comprehensive and illustrative notes for each of the topics. Apart from this, I'll be doing PYQ discussion after each topic. I'll be doing PYQ discussion. You also have daily answer writing. And I'll also be giving you guys current affairs. Once in a month, I'll be giving this current affairs monthly. And you have a mentor, dedicated mentor. He is available to you round the clock. Of course, I myself will make myself available to you. You all will be added probably to a Telegram group. That group, all of us will be active. Me, mentors, everyone. Any grievances, you can straight away raise it in the group. Okay. So this is about the nature of the course. Okay. So anything else, any other doubts or any other concerns you guys have about? ఇంకేదైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నా, ఎనీ కన్సర్న్స్, ఎనీథింగ్ యాజ్ సచ్, ఫీల్ ఫ్రీ టు ఆస్క్ మీ. No, no, oh sorry, you will have tests across the program. I forgot to mention. You will have 14 sectional tests as part of the program. After one or two, three chapters combined, you will have a sectional test. You will have a sectional test. 14 sectional tests for which I'll give detailed evaluation. Mains level evaluation I'll be giving, not regular evaluation. This is Anthropology classroom program, right? Yes, it's for 4.5 to 5 months. But recordings access, you should just talk to the management once. In different coaching centers, it is different. Usually they'll give for 1 year access to the recordings, that you can just check with the management. They'll give those details to you. Anything else? All good? Okay, I'll stop the class. Thank you.